Hello YouTube, Joe here, and in case there's any floatovers from the other channel, I'm also known as Misanthrope for Life, frequently doing reviews and random rants, there we go, of anything that's annoying me and pipes and cigars. Uh, so what we're doing here today is a D&D playthrough of the first adventure that was put out. What was the exact name of it? The Lost Mine of Phandelvir. I am Joe. I myself have been gaming since I was... Fuck. Oh, by the way, PG-13 warning! Probably since I was 13, 14 years old. 34 now. 34, right? 34?
Yeah.
Yeah, 34 now. So, I've been gaming longer than I have not been. As for being a game master, at least a pure game master, I dabble with it off and on, but I pretty much took over just becoming a nothing but pure game master for just over 10 years. And I started myself playing D&D back in 2nd edition D&D. So way back when. And I found 3rd edition, which pretty much filled all the voids I had with 2nd edition D&D for a lot of the flexibility and ability to just create whatever it is you want to have. But taking a look over at 5th edition D&D, nostalgia has kicked in because I myself find that with 5th edition D&D, it's very reminiscent of old 2nd edition D&D with minimum skills, minimum rolling, quick and easy character creation and updates, and it's either you're proficient in something or you're not. Simple as that. And the nostalgia aspect of me wants to give it a shot because as much as I hate with the blinding passion of 1,000 Dark Suns.
You mean Desert Suns?
No, Dark Suns is a campaign for D&D, so the nerds will get it.
Great, you just announced me as a nerd. Thank you.
No, old school nerds, I should say. But I hate 4th edition D&D. Absolutely hate 4th edition D&D. But today I'm the game master, and because I live in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, we don't have a very big gaming community. So it's very hard to find actual gamers.
The ones that we do have. Yeah.
To find gamers that aren't hack and slash, that don't just want to sit there and just read the module line for line, not do anything out of the ordinary, not give any information, assuming the characters are smart enough to come up with the means to get it.
Take gaming personally.
Yeah, they take gaming personally. I just can't find them. Especially ones that will just immediately, well, if you've watched any other people game, or you're one of those gamers, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Or if you've been part of the group and you don't like it, you'll see what I mean. But the game master just tosses you in, says, you've been hired to do this, you've gone through here and done this, you've been traveling for this long and done this, and not actually play any of it out, giving no reasons or justifications for character A to interact with character B, and to give two flying fucks about whatever they were hired to do, because there's been no development on it. So, that being said, you're going to see a different style of gaming as to what the average person does whenever they game. So, that's me. Now, the one stable player I always have by my side is my wife, Sherry, who has been gaming with me for just over 2 years. Yeah.
Longer. I started gaming with you and then stopped gaming 10 years ago.
Just a little louder, just in case the auto doesn't pick you up over there.
Bah!
So, a little louder. How long have you been gaming?
With you, almost 3 years, but 10 years ago we also gamed.
Okay. And she's going to be the only player. That's it.
Get it, Jonah!
We have 2 dogs. You can see one of them, little white derp. Her name is Brissa. And we have another one that's right there. Her name is Shona. She might pop into scene every once in a while for a cameo. I don't use miniatures. I can't fucking stand them. People are too dependent and too linear. I describe everything. So, that being said, Lost Mines of Phandelvir, D&D 5th edition. This is going to be the very first time I have ever played this adventure. This is going to be the very first time I have ever played 5th edition D&D. This is going to be the first time Sherry has played this module, as well as the first time she has played 5th edition D&D. So I'm trying my hardest to not have rule slip-ups. They may happen. If they do and you notice them, put a comment below so I can look them up. You will see me periodically going back and forth on the books I have on the computer. So there may be some slowdowns if I'm not up to date on a rule. So bear with us. We'll try to get through this. Depending upon how long this goes, I'm going to try to get through the entire first part of the Lost Mines of Phandelvir before I actually stop this video, familiarize myself with the second part, and move on to it.
My computer's loading just a sec.
As for character, well, we only got one player, right there.
Unless she can play.
Brista cannot play. She doesn't know how to roll dice. Do ya? So, Sherry is playing a Dragonborn. And what was the character's name?
Kyron.
Kyron is a druid, first level. Now, I did read through the 5th edition books, and I have found that them to be a little bit on the wanting side. So there's a couple small, not so much changes, but modifications that have been done. Periodically, you may see humans in the game, obviously, and I will either be going with, by default, the standard +1 to everything. But if you notice a level 1 human that seems to do something that they're not supposed to be able to do at such a level based on their class, that would be because that would be the human variant. If I was to run this system, I would allow you to take one or the other. Same as where if you play an elf, a halfling, a gnome, you have the benefit of taking one of two or even three different subspecies. The human I will give the benefit of, you can be the human where you get a +1 to everything, or you can play the human variant where you get a +1 to 2 stats, as well as a language and a feat.
What does it mean by variant?
It's a variant human race. So you can either have your humans have a +1 to every stat, which is the base rule, or if you don't like that, humans can have a +1 to 2 stats and start the game with a free feat. Now, because of the way I like to run it, I would allow either or. So that way there's a little bit more flexibility and variance amongst the characters. Because one thing I do enjoy is the ability for players to make what is specific to their needs.
Way to go, brilliant doll.
As well as, anyone that's familiar with it, dndwiki.com has a 5th edition section of homebrew. I took a look, and what I'm using from their homebrew is their backgrounds, as well as some of their feats, the ones that I took a look through and did mock exams with to see if they would be broken or not. So just again, more flexibility, not so limited to the minor amount of feats and backgrounds presented in the core book. As for those stupid bonds and flaws and ideals, to me, I don't use those because that's just promoting lack of gameplay and lack of imagination. To say that you have to have these things written down in your character. If you know how to play role-playing games properly, you will inevitably put in things that tie your character to other places or people. You'll inevitably put in character flaws, and you'll inevitably give your character an ideal. I do, however, use the background because the background does give you the proficiency bonuses as well as potential equipment. But as for the other ones, that's just a product of lazy game mastering, in my personal opinion. And any game master that does require them are game masters that don't know how to game master and would just be better suited playing a video game with dice. And yes, I'm offensive. And yes, I'm belligerent. And yes, I know I'm going to offend a lot of people that have said they've game mastered for years, but all they do is read text from a book. You're not a game master. You're a narrator. Get it right. Narrators are fine. White Wolf made a bunch of money off narrators. Look them up. It's called Vampire the Masquerade. So, if you have stuck with me past all this rambling, congratulations. very soon we're going to start the Lost Mines of Phandelvir. Get the character up.
It's downloading. It'll only take a second. What?
So,
Don't look at me like that.
stay tuned for the next update, the next
Don't look at me with
video,
that eyes.
and that'll be part 1, the Lost Mines of Phandelvir, now that the introduction as to who we are and the character that will be played is taken care of.
Let me make sure I have the right character because you've emailed
Till
me.
then, see you later, and we'll be back for part 1.